everybody. Just give me a second here. If you've already heard about it, I'm going to ask you, please don't do that. Don't put it into the chat. I came live for a reason. There's a lot of people maybe that can't get this information. So I'd appreciate it if you don't post it to the chat if you already know. Thank you very much. I'm waiting for my mods to get in here. Just give me a second here. Hello, everybody. Okay, I just got to open another window here, you guys. Thank you, everybody. Just waiting for some of my mods to get in here, and then we're going to go over it. Like I said, if you're coming in and you've already heard the news, it was just released not long ago. Please keep it to yourself and let me get through this so the correct information is coming out and the facts. Yes, looking forward to this too. So I'm just, okay, so let's jump into this. I'm going to share my screen. Okay, let's keep the comments and that, please, until we get through this. So, and like I said, if you have heard about this already, please keep it to yourself and let us get through this. Because not everybody has had the chance. This just was released. So let's see here. Hello, everybody coming in. I appreciate you all coming in. Okay, so the Brian Laundrie Autopsy forensic anthropologist says fugitive died of suicide. Okay, so deceased fugitive Brian Laundrie died of suicide, forensic anthropologist told Laundrie family attorney Stephen Bertolino on Friday. And we can discuss this once I'm done, you guys. Laundrie took his own life with a gunshot wound to the head, Bertilo said. Chris and Robert, should have said Roberta, are still mourning the loss of their son and are hopeful that these findings bring closure to both families. Laundrie was a person of interest in the disappearance and homicide of his former fiancée, Gabby Petito, a tragedy that captured the nation's attention for more than a month after Petito's family reported her missing on September 11th. Authorities recovered partial skeletal remains along with a backpack and other personal items belonging to Laundrie on October 20th at the Macahatchee Creek Environmental Park in Northport, Florida. The following day, after a comparison of dental records, the agency confirmed the remains of Brian. The Florida District 12 medical examiner conducted an initial autopsy in late October, but results came back inconclusive. The remains were sent to a forensic anthropologist. Forensic anthropologists analyzed the human remains, conducted DNA tests, and looked for any signs of weapon evidence to help determine how a person died. Authorities also found Laundrie's notebook on October 20th, which police say may be salvageable. It's unclear what's inside the notebook. Laundrie had returned to his parents' home, so this is all stuff that we knew. Laundrie's parents then reported their son missing on September 17th. Just saying that the Northport police and FBI searched the Macahatchee Creek for more than a month before eventually finding Brian's remains and personal items with help from Laundrie's parents. So this is what has come out, you guys, regarding it, that apparently he did commit suicide. They're saying that he died of a gunshot wound to the head. Now, other than that, there's still nothing regarding, I didn't see anything in here. And here's the big thing, you guys. It's saying that whoever's skull this was that was found, they took their own life. Nowhere in here do I see that they confirmed it to be Brian through DNA. Yes, happy Thanksgiving to all my friends abroad. Our Thanksgiving was a while back. So what I'm not getting, you guys, is nowhere in there did they say that where this gun came from, whose gun it was, did they find the gun, and did DNA match? I'm not seeing that yet. What do you guys think about that? Yes, it is a terrible situation, Krista, for both families. But that's the thing here. I thought I was going to see somewhere here where they said positive DNA match. Yeah, the only DNA that we have seen is apparently from the teeth. Now, is it a little far-fetched? Is it, could it happen that somehow they got teeth there? Did they have Brian's teeth pulled so he could go into hiding? By them not releasing something along the lines of, look at, it was Brian's gun and DNA matched. So I don't know. I don't know. And they're saying that the DNA was inconclusive with the teeth. So can his death still be faked? I got a lot of different people thinking a lot of different things, and everybody's entitled to their opinion. How do they know he shot himself? Well, they had the skull. So I am assuming that there was a gunshot wound to that skull. See, Lupe says, I still think he's alive. Don't know why. Sorry, just it doesn't all make sense. Yeah. I still don't buy. Hi, Cindy. Still don't buy any of this. It stinks. Yes. Martwan says, if you Google DNA, it states they get it from teeth. So how can it be inconclusive? Exactly. But they're saying that it was inconclusive, trying to get the DNA from the teeth. So what is going on? And we do know, I'm going to put it out there because it's been put out there that apparently, now I have not been able to verify this, you guys. So I'm just putting it out there. Take it with a grain of salt, that apparently there was a dentist in the Laundrie family. Yes. Even if he is dead, there's still going to be conspiracies that are going to be tossed around. Okay, Chris has said, I heard it was his uncle. Yeah, I heard there was his uncle was a dentist. They didn't say what, if anything was salvaged from that notebook. They haven't said things that needed to be said. Hello, Titan. Hello to everybody. Hello, Titan, Ashen, Krista, Betty, Capel, Teresa, Copper Pearls, Jules, AG, Bartwan, Anita, Cindy, Lupe, Jakey, Dorothy, Betty, Loveland, Alicia, Betty Smith. I'm sorry if I'm missing anybody. My chat is flying, you guys. But yeah, I was expecting to see more in this than what was showed. All they said basically was that the fugitive died of suicide. Deceased fugitive Brian Laundrie died of suicide, a forensic anthropologist told Laundrie family attorney. Laundrie took his own life with a gunshot wound to the head. They have said nothing else, nothing about DNA, nothing about crap. Hello, Dewey, Blue Mermaid, Ashen, okay, Amari. Hello, everybody coming in. I'm sorry if I have missed you. So, I mean, it's just, I don't like speculation and conspiracies and all this, but as far as I'm concerned, with the very little that they just put out, it's going to cause more conspiracy theories, more questions. There's more questions now than answers. Okay. if when they said the tests on the teeth came back inconclusive, there's pulp, like somebody had just said, there's stuff in the teeth that they can conclude DNA with. But apparently it's been said that it came back inconclusive. So, okay, they're sending the bones and skull and teeth and everything to this anthropologist. You're expecting to hear something about DNA matches, and we've heard nothing. We've heard that whoever these bones and that belong to died with a gunshot to the head. How do they know it was suicide? They said it's suicide by a gunshot to the head. How do they know it was suicide of this skull? And how do they know that it's Brian's skull? If they can do that. Like, just by what they said, it's not proving, number one, that it's Brian, because the teeth apparently came back inconclusive for DNA. All it's showing is with whatever these bones were, and I'm assuming there was a skull, all this proves that that skull died of a gunshot wound, as far as I'm concerned. A gunshot wound to the head. There's nothing that they have shown that says that it was Brian, and there's no proof that the DNA matches Brian and that this was Brian's gun. They say nothing exactly. Where's the gun? Where is the gun? If this was a suicide to this skull, and I'm not going to say right now at this point that it's Brian's, because they have not said that it's Brian's, because they've matched it by DNA. They have said this, whoever's bones this were is skull. Okay, they have to have that to say there was a gunshot wound and it was suicide. How can they say it's suicide? Where's the gun? They have said nothing. If it was a suicide and he shot himself in the head, or whoever this is that shot themselves in the head, the gun would have been there. The gun would have been near the bones. Where's the gun? Where's the gun? Suicide, you would find the gun near the bones. Where's the gun? Where's the gun? How do they know it's suicide? All they have right now is bones with a gunshot wound. If it was suicide, the gun would be there. How do they know it's suicide? Number one. Number two, how do they know it's Brian? Because they haven't said that they've gotten any DNA back, proving it to be Brian. The teeth came back inconclusive. So I'd like to know how they are saying that it's Brian Laundrie and he died of a suicide by a gunshot wound to the head. If that's true, then where's the DNA that says that that is Brian's skull with the gunshot wound in it? And where's the gun? Because if it was suicide, the gun would still be there. The gun doesn't just get up and leave from a suicide. So that's why I'm saying that there is a lot here, you guys, that is leaving more questions now than answers. Veronica, it was sent. It was all sent to a forensic anthropologist. Okay? So there's nothing outstanding anymore to be done for DNA. That's where it went to get DNA done. And they've come back with, well, we found this, and what we found with whatever bones, and I'm assuming there's a skull, what we found was it was suicide. How do you know it's suicide, number one? How? How do you even know that it's Brian Laundrie? Because they have not said that the DNA of those bones, anything match Brian. And if it was suicide, then where's the gun? The gun should have been within that area. They found a backpack. They found this. They found a notebook. Where's the gun? If it was suicide, the gun would be there. I thought that too, Blue Mermaid, but with the testing that they did on the teeth, they came back inconclusive. So that's why it was sent to this forensic anthropologist. Now, the results from the forensic anthropologist for the DNA and all that came back, and all they have said is he died of suicide by a gunshot. So where's the gun? Where's the DNA proving it's Brian? And how do you know it's Brian? How can you conclusively say it's Brian if you don't got any DNA to back that up? Since the teeth, the crap that they did with the teeth came back inconclusive. So how are they saying that this is Brian died of suicide? How do you know it's suicide? Where's the gun? Boston 2 News says police didn't deny claims that DNA didn't match. Well, that's not what we're hearing. From what we're hearing right from medical examiner is it was inconclusive. Okay, so even if in that, if, and I'm saying if this was a big setup, so Brian Laundrie runs free for the rest of his life, who's to say that whatever's written in that book, without having DNA to say that this is Brian, they can't prove it is. I could write in a book saying I'm killing myself. You know what I mean? Without conclusive proof that he did do that and these bones and everything are his. I'm just finding it weird that they have not confirmed everything with DNA. Hey, Sifta, honestly, for myself and myself only, because everybody's entitled to their own opinion and thoughts and everything else, if the medical examiner comes back and says, look, we've now found DNA, confirms it's Brian, I'll accept it. But they haven't done that. And how do they know it's a suicide if they haven't found the weapon? How do they know Brian Laundrie committed suicide without proving it's number one by DNA that it's Brian and finding the murder weapon? I'm behind a bit in chat here, you guys, so please forgive me. I'm trying to get to everything that you guys are putting out and responding. Yep, they wanted it to go away. Yeah, where's his clothes? Where's the clothes? Where's the gun? Where's the necklace or whatever he had around his neck? But the thing is, Dorothy, if this is a setup, an elaborate plan so Brian Laundrie can live somewhere in the Bahamas or something like everybody's saying, if this, and I'm saying if it's the case, he could have wrote anything in that notebook, and I still find it very sketchy that it's his parents that found everything. Just saying. Anybody could write anything in a notebook to help solidify the story. But without DNA, they do not know that that is Brian. The teeth said inconclusive. They do not know this is Brian. So how they're saying that Brian Laundrie shot himself in the head and committed suicide, how do they do that? And where's the gun? Where's his clothes? Where's everything else of his that he would have had on his body? Hey, Anita, that could be very possible. Hi, Summer Dawn. But like I said, with this notebook, if him and his parents were making this elaborate thing to have him hidden, okay, they would have had him write something in that notebook. I'm going to kill myself or whatever. Maybe they came across these bones before and knew that there was bones there. Anything could be possible. Right. The teeth showed inconclusive, and so far nothing saying DNA matched Brian Laundrie. Me too, Ashton. I agree, Bartwan. Yeah, it's all been that's why they sent it to this forensic anthropologist. The anthropologist would have extracted any DNA, anything from these bones. Now, I see nothing in the news release regarding that. Them saying these bones had whatever they found. I see nothing there, you guys, stating that these bones are confirmed to be Brian Laundrie's. Nothing. Zero. Zilch. Also, they're saying that it is Brian without DNA to prove it is. They're saying that it was a suicide by a gunshot. Where's the gun then? Where's his clothes? Where's all this stuff that would have been scattered around there by the animals that ate up his body? Now, my critical thinking is saying, I think the Laundries came across some bones and stuff like this of maybe somebody that did take their life out there and made this. They could have made this elaborate scheme. We're going to say that this is Brian. Brian, we need you to do this, 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 and this. Write this in your notebook and get the hell out of here. Anything is possible, you guys, without DNA to confirm that it's Brian. How can they say it's a suicide? Where's the gun? If you commit suicide and shoot yourself in the head, the gun's going to be there. So, and then if animals have eaten all your flesh and everything off the bones and scattered you, there would be clothes, there would be shoes, there would be this, there would be evidence there. There's none. They're not saying anything about any of that. Yes. I'm more confused now than I've ever been. I do think his family had connections. Krista, I'm hoping that that's what it is, but I don't see them releasing this without releasing how they know. Right? Because they got to know that this is going to send everybody into a tizzy. Okay, how do you know it's Brian? And if it's suicide, where's the gun? When you shoot yourself, the gun doesn't go 2 miles away. The gun is going to be around where you shot yourself. Obviously, his parents knew exactly where he was going to be. The backpack and notebook and dry bag are found. So obviously, they wanted to make it look like he shot himself in that area where his backpack and everything was found. He wouldn't have left that there and went off somewhere else. So the gun should have been there. Where's the gun? Not so sure about that, Betty. Yeah, either way, if he's dead or if he's alive, either way, he's a coward. Yep, like I said, very suspicious. Yeah, and the father made a beeline. They were walking down this path, and there's tons of trees and bush. I mean, he went directly to the area. Within 30 minutes of getting to that park and parking their vehicle, within 30 minutes, they found everything that they apparently found. Now, so they're saying, oh, well, this is where it happened, and then they found the bones nearby and all this crap. Okay, where's the gun? Hello, Vicky, Leslie. Hello, everybody coming in. I'm just going to put that out there. I haven't heard that. I heard they owned a juice bar thing or something. I didn't hear that they worked for the state's attorney. And if she ever did at one time, she doesn't now. But I've heard that mentioned before. I don't believe it's him. Even Dog the Bounty Hunter doesn't believe it. He thinks he's still alive and the staged death. Yes, I'm leading more towards this has all been staged. Okay, I'm going to let you guys know also, Cindy, if you can put up the link to my merch from now until midnight, Black Friday at midnight, 15% off any of your purchases from my store. You use the promo code Friday to get your 15% off, all in capital letters. So go on over there and check it out. Exactly. The gun hasn't even been mentioned. Like I said, when you commit suicide, that gun is going to be within a couple feet of you. Where's the gun? If he committed suicide, they're saying he committed suicide, gunshot wound to the head. Okay, where's the gun? You found his backpack and everything, so assumably, to follow the narrative, he killed himself in that area because that's where the bones and everything were found, not too far from there either. So if you found his backpack, where's the gun? And where's the DNA to say this is Brian? How can you positively say that this is Brian? The gun's not there. His clothes are nowhere to be found that he would have been wearing. His necklace that he was wearing around his neck, nowhere to be found. The gun's not to be found. Nothing's to be found. And we got no DNA, but we're going to say it's Brian. That's what's leading me to not believe this now. I don't know, Lupe. Yep. The animals wouldn't eat the gun and clothes and shoes. Okay, so somebody else says Brian Eaton is still following this and he's not convinced either. So there you go. Yeah, and like I said, Betty, this is leaving more questions than answers. Absolutely. With today's things that they've got, they could have got DNA. Yeah, there was a backpack with a notebook in it and a dry bag, but they haven't said exactly what else was in there. But I'm telling you one thing, that if you shoot yourself in the head, you're not going to be able to put your gun in the backpack or in a dry bag. Once you've shot yourself in the head and committed suicide. And if there was a gun found immediately there, then that would have been released long ago. Where's the gun? And I still find it very funny that his parents beelined right for the site. The mother went further up, maybe to keep an eye on people looking around, make sure there's nobody around so the father could do whatever. I don't know, but I'm not convinced. But to say that this is Brian Laundrie and he died of suicide from a gunshot wound to the head. Number one, if they found a skull with a gunshot wound in it, number one, how do you know it's suicide if there's no gun there? It can't be suicide unless you have that gun. The gun does not go 10 feet away from you or into a backpack or dry bag once you've shot yourself. It would be on the ground. Nothing been said about a gun. So if there's a suicide, where's the gun? This is why I said there's more questions than answers. And they do not have any DNA linking that to being Brian yet. Nothing. Nothing that they've released. Thank you, Anna Marie. I'm really, I'm at a loss right now. I've got to really go over this and let it really sink in. But I was leaning more before this came out. I was leaning more that he's dead. He killed himself. But now the way this has come out, I feel that there's things being hidden. I've got a bad gut feeling. It's looking now more like things have been staged. The thing is, he's dead. Nobody can be prosecuted unless there's a civil suit that is brought against the Laundries from Gabby Petito's family. There's nobody ever going to face a trial here for Gabby's death, because the person that they know did it, they're saying now is dead. So there's no reason to hold anything back in this case anymore. None. They don't need to hold it quiet for trial or so jury doesn't know. They have no reason to hold it back, to withhold anything that they find. And they have not found the murder weapon. If he shot himself in the head, the gun would be there. Exactly. Why is that still open? Could it be because they're not convinced that Brian's dead either? Yes, I have merch. I just opened a brand new store. And like I said, if you want to go and check out the store, I'll have my mod put the link in the chat. And from today until midnight Black Friday, everything is 15% off if you use the code Friday, all in capital letters, promo code Friday. It's only available, that promo code is only available until midnight Friday. I don't know how they did that, but I think it's just the Brian stuff that's been staged. Let me just I got some stuff. I got both windows open here in studio and that. I keep the one here in StreamYard open too, you guys, so I can put some of your stuff up on screen. But let me go back here because I see people have been highlighting my name and I just want to check it out. Okay, so there's the merch store, you guys. Just give me a sec to go through this, you guys. Yes, make sure that you select live chat on top so you're getting all the chat, you guys. Panda Berry, I think I'm leaning more towards now a cover-up and that he's alive. Until they come out with some DNA that says they can prove that it's him because they found DNA. Until that is done, in my opinion, then you could still very well be alive. And like I said, if you shoot yourself in the head and commit suicide, the gun is going to be there. They found his backpack, a notebook, a dry bag. The gun would be there somewhere in that area. Okay? When the animals get to him, they're going to rip through his clothes, and the clothes are going to be left behind. His shoes are going to be left behind. Any jewelry he had on is going to be left behind, like that necklace thing or whatever. They found none of that. None. Again, you guys who are just coming in, there's the link to my merch store is on the screen. 15% off from now until Friday at midnight using promo code Friday, all in capital letters. Yes. Yep. I don't believe so. I think it happened a day or so afterwards because where that car had been parked was under 3 to 4 feet of water later on. Exactly. Yeah. Look at how many people thought that they seen him, right? I feel sorry for any young, bald guy out there right now that could possibly look like Brian. Yes, and I do believe that if he is in hiding and if this is all is an elaborate plan, there's just so many things going for it being staged than against it being staged. The teeth came back inconclusive, the DNA from the teeth, inconclusive. Okay, so when things clear up, The Laundries go within 30 minutes of parking their vehicle. They go directly to where Brian Laundrie's family goes into the forest there and finds Brian's backpack, a notebook, and a dry bag. Okay? His bones were found in the area. Where's the gun? Where's his clothes? Where's all this stuff that would have been ripped off him by the animals? And they're still not saying that they've got proof that this is Brian. No DNA yet. If he committed suicide, I'm going to say it again. Where's the gun? Where's his clothes? Very suspicious. Like I said, I didn't want to lean towards this being staged and somehow Brian still being alive, but I'm telling you right now, I'm not convinced he's dead. Until they say that they have DNA that matches him, I'm not. Yes, please make sure you've selected live chat at the top. Yeah, exactly. I don't know about that, Veronica, but I mean, anything's possible. Very possible, too. I don't think the gun would have been washed away at all. The gun would have hit the ground, and I don't think water would have lifted that gun. It would have got waterlogged, and it would have stayed there. That's why people throw guns in the water to get rid of them, because they sink. So it didn't get washed away. Okay, Veronica, let's stop posting that, please. Because I don't think that anybody's dad would have, I don't think his dad would have shot him in the head. I've seen it, like you posted it once or twice, that's okay, but to just continue posting the same thing, it's getting kind of spammy. Exactly. And like I said, that's why people throw guns into bodies of water, because they sink. Successfully extract DNA from teeth that had been buried up to 80 years, discriminate one individual from all others at a high level of confidence by starting with only one NG or less. Exactly. So why did the tests on the teeth come back inconclusive? Right? Could they be maybe something that was used in a dental school? Amanda thinks he's still alive. Panda Berry thinks he's still alive, and I think yes, could very well be. Blue Mermaid, absolutely. Shipment to the UK, yes. I can't see them, KMRE, not releasing it. Like I said, Brian's dead. There's no one to charge now, no one to bring before a judge for Gabby's murder. So there's no reason for them to hide this if they had it. Kapow, thank you. For the tests on those teeth to come back inconclusive is shady as you know what. I haven't heard anything of that, Grammy. There's the Angel's Truth merch store again. Hello, Marie. Grammy 3G. Yeah, I've heard that too, Grammy. So these teeth that were found, like I said, this skull could have been something that they had seen eons ago. Could have been planted. And if this is true that his uncle was a dentist, Things could be planted, you guys. I don't know. There you go. I think Capel works in some kind of medical field. She's got some pretty good information here. Right. If you commit suicide, the gun is going with a gun. It's going to be near your remains. They found his backpack. They found his notebook. So obviously that's the last place he was before if he committed suicide. Well, where's his clothes? Where's his shoes? Where's the gun? People throw guns in the water to dispose of them because they sink. The gun's not going to get up and float away. Where's the gun? Commit suicide, the gun's going to be found around your body. Yay, Marie. I don't believe that at all. Because they've got to know that this is going to give more questions now than answers. How do you know it's Brian if you don't have DNA proving that those are Brian's remains? Then you can't say Brian Laundrie went out there and shot himself in the head, committed suicide. If he committed suicide, where's the gun? Right? You can't confirm his identity through his teeth. It was inconclusive. You don't have the gun that we're aware of that would have fallen and stayed on the ground by his body. And you don't have DNA proving that these bones that were found were even Brian. So how can you say that it's Brian? Oh, Lupe, I was hoping it all came back that it was him too, to know that this case was done and over, but this just gave more questions than answers. Inconclusive because it wasn't him. What's that, Justice Janie? Sorry, I'm way behind in chat, you guys. I'm trying to catch up here. Yep. Why? Why would the FBI, of all people, still have an open charge against him if he was still alive, if he was dead? It's still active. Tanya doesn't think he's dead either. Me either. I'm leaning towards now that no, he's not. I don't think he hung himself. He's a wimp. He's a coward. If he did kill himself, it would have been a quick goodbye. He wouldn't be able to stand the pain of that. That's a slow death, hanging yourself. And there was nothing there saying or showing that he did. They're saying a gunshot to the head. Well, how do you know it's him? Where's the gun? The gun would have fallen beside him. Where's the clothes that he had on? Where's the shoes he had on? There's just too much that's nope. Bailey, if they would have came back, if this anthropologist would have came back and said, we have DNA to prove that this is him, I would have believed it. But that's not what they're saying. Okay, so maybe, I don't know, maybe YouTube is messing up again. I've just seen it quite a few times, so it could be posting it many times instead of just once. So sorry if I made a mistake there. I will apologize, Veronica. Lupe says from day one, he doesn't like it. My chat's going all over, so I could be seeing it more than once. Hello, Sarah. My chat keeps jumping all over, so I apologize if I made a mistake there. Please accept my apology. Blue Marie 2 heard that the uncle's a dentist. Okay, it's Amanda. It has come back that the Brian Laundrie autopsy by forensic anthropologist says fugitive died of a suicide. And that he took his own life with a gunshot wound to the head. Where's the gun? It would have fallen right there, somewhere near him if he killed himself. After you shoot yourself in the head, you can't put it into a bag or throw it away, or it would have been right there. And yes, they did try and do DNA. And they're not saying nothing about connecting DNA. This is Brian Laundrie. No. Yes, we want DNA. Until DNA confirms that this is Brian, they cannot say that this was Brian. The gun would have been found. Believe me, there's been more than enough people out there, and it would have been found. People have been out there with metal detector, everything, you name it. There's people out there. Somebody wants to be a hero. I'm telling you, if there was a gun there, it would have been found. Hello, Tanya. Capel would have loved to go to med school. The rope that they found, Amanda, was a swinging rope that a lot of teenagers and stuff would go there and swing on this rope. Well, if that's true, then how do they know it's Brian's? And they did compare the teeth. And they're saying it's inconclusive. And obviously they had the skull to Shifta to say that he died of a gunshot wound to the head. They had enough to show that. Well, they got enough to get the DNA. The DNA from the teeth came back inconclusive. If there was no DNA there, well, you know, I know that doctors and dentists and stuff like that have bones from long ago that they use. I'm just going to leave that there. Jack, you're going to have to go back to the beginning, but the anthropologist released his forensic autopsy, and he's saying that Brian Laundrie took his own life with a gunshot wound to the head. But we have no evidence that there's no DNA connecting those remains to Brian's. There's no gun that they're saying that they found. If you kill yourself, commit suicide, shot to the head, then the gun would be found around the body. So with the clothes and stuff that he would have had on, if the animals got to him and ate his skin and everything, clothes and that, the animals don't eat that. And to find the backpack and the notebook and everything else there, but not the murder weapon, no, there's something very wrong here. Yeah, me either, Cindy. They've been searching for DNA, and so far nothing has been said about it. And if they would have found Brian's DNA, then the forensic anthropologist would have said that along with the cause of death that he found. So I don't think that there's DNA there. Why isn't there DNA there? Like, you're going to have to go back and look at, because Capel had said you can find DNA in stuff that's been buried for a long time. Cat H, no. And if you commit suicide, that gun would fall right around where you committed suicide, around his backpack and everything else that he had on him. What's he going to do? Go hide his backpack somewhere else and then come back to a different area to kill himself? I don't think so. The gun has not been spoken of, so I don't believe that they have it. So far, no DNA to prove that this is him. Blue Moon, they're saying that it's by suicide, a gunshot wound to the head, but they got nothing to back that up. They've got no DNA saying that the skull and everything was Brian's. The teeth, when they tried to get the DNA, was inconclusive. There's no gun that would have been found around the area of, like, I would assume the backpack and everything that was there. That's probably where, if he committed suicide, everything would have been in that area. There's no gun. People throw a gun in the water because it sinks. It would have still been there. There's no clothes. There's no pieces of his clothes or shoes or anything that was found. So it just leads me to believe that this is not him. Miss T's, they would have no reason not to release that because there's no charges that are going to be brought against him now. In the Gabby case, there's no court. There's no court going on where things like that would have to be kept hidden. Thank you, Justice Janie, for your super sticker. I appreciate it. Every little bit helps. Lady of Angels thinks that he's still linked to Moab. I don't know about that. When further testing was done on that K. Mitch, it was inconclusive. They found it inconclusive. Me too, Ashton. If he is still alive, and that's if he is still alive, yes, he needs to be brought to justice. Right? That's what I'm asking, Debs. I don't think we're being told the whole story either. Yes, happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Yeah, we need the DNA. Like I said, if they would have said, okay, Brian Laundrie took his own life, gunshot went to the head, blah, blah, blah. There's the gun. There's, scatters of it, maybe his clothes. I would have laid it all to rest and said, he's dead. But no gun being found, the testing on the teeth inconclusive, no DNA, no sign of any of his clothes, shoes, anything. No, I'm sorry. I just cannot believe with what's been released that he is dead. Exactly. And then his parents going in there and finding everything within 30 minutes of parking their vehicle? No. Yes, Gabby. Marie Burks, like I said, people have gone over that area with everything you can imagine to find so they can get, I don't mean this in a disrespectful way, okay? But I'm telling you, people have all gone out there with metal detectors, everything, trying to find something that they can bring forward to say, look what I found. Believe me, if there was a gun out there, we would know about it. Hello, Bruce. Exactly. Where's the gun? There's the link if you guys would like to become a member. There's also a join button right below any of my videos. Right now, yeah, it's 50-50. Yeah. I believe that. So, I mean, that's just my take, you guys. I don't believe, and I will not believe that he is dead until we have DNA evidence that these remains were Brian's. Number one. Number two, where is the gun? If you shoot yourself in the head, the gun would have been right there. They found the backpack that should have floated away, but the backpack was there. The dry bag was there. That would have floated away, but that stuff was all still found there. Was this a higher elevation where maybe the stuff wasn't underwater? Was it planted there? with what I have right now sitting in front of me and with the information that has been put out, I just do not believe that they have enough evidence to say that this is Brian Laundrie. He shot himself in the head. Where's the gun? Regardless of anything else, where is the gun? You got the skull. You got other items of Brian's that should have floated away, like a backpack. A gun, not so much, because it sinks to the bottom. That's why people throw guns into the water. But there's some very specific things, you guys, that should have been found there. Number one, the gun. Number two, some of his clothing, shoes. Animals wouldn't eat that. Not all of it anyway. 3, DNA. Add to the mix that after all these people searched, all of a sudden, his parents arrived there within 30 minutes of getting out of their vehicle. They go directly to the spot where things of Brian's were found. Put that all together. It doesn't add up. You cannot make 2 + 2 = 10. Yes, happy holidays to everyone. Happy Thanksgiving to all of those celebrating. I don't think that's the case, because somebody would want their 5 minutes of fame. Believe me. I found the gun. There's still a lot of people that I have seen, including some law enforcement, that still don't believe Brian is dead. We've also got Brian Eaton that is not convinced. We've got Dog the Bounty Hunter not convinced, and hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds, if not thousands of others that are saying, where is the evidence that this is him? All we know, there's a skull with a gunshot wound to the head. Show me the proof that that is Brian's. Give me the DNA. They got none. Where's the gun? As soon as you commit suicide, the gun falls right around where your body is. The gun would not float away. That's why people throw the gun into water, bodies of water. It sinks to the bottom. But the backpack and dry bag that would have floated away is found. Think about that for a minute, you guys. Anything in that backpack would have been submerged underwater. It would have floated away. They went directly to where that was found, the parents. I don't know how you're getting a rope, Holly. Maybe it's because you might have seen that there is a rope there that a lot of teenagers and that young people that went to that area used to swing on. There's no evidence to show me right now this is Brian. All they've got is inconclusive dental records, a skull with a bullet hole to the head. How do they know it's suicide? If all they got's a skull, how do you know that's suicide? Doesn't make any sense. Okay? And if this was an elaborate setup, which I'm believing now that it was, because thinking logically, that backpack would have floated away somewhere else. If anything was going to move, it would have been that backpack. And it wasn't. It was there with everything else they found. I forget what I was saying now. Comes with old age, you guys. So they're saying that this skull is Brian Laundrie's without showing us any DNA, without any proof that it's his. They're saying it's suicide without proof that it is suicide, because if it was suicide, the gun would be there. Because when you shoot yourself in the head, the gun doesn't walk off by itself somewhere else or get put into a backpack or anything. The gun would have sunk and would have stayed on the ground when water came. That's why people throw guns in water. There's just, where is the proof that this is Brian? Where's the proof that this is even suicide? Where's the proof that this is even Brian's skull? Yes, the terrible thing that happened to him in Wisconsin, I believe that was at that parade. Our prayers and condolences to everybody affected by that, for the victims and their families. Right. I believe that somebody's, or a lot of somebody's, are lying. Very much, Lupe. Now, this is just my opinion. I'm not saying you guys have to believe what I'm saying, but I'm bringing out some questionable things here. No, it's not like, oh my God, Brian's going to be charged, so we got to keep this secret and that secret and this. If he's dead, they would just release this information. They're not releasing it. There's still charges pending against Brian. Why? If he's dead, why? Why is the FBI, not local police, FBI still keeping that with the credit card fraud open? If they are 100% certain Brian's dead, I may do that. I may. Right? At least in the attic. The gun is gone, along with all other remains, but the bag and a few other belongings are magically still there. Is Brian's real name Houdini? Like, come on. Like I agree with you, Elise. Like, where's the gun? If you're gonna say that this skull that you have, that you cannot tell us by DNA or anything that is Brian, has a bullet hole in the head. Number one, how do you prove that it's suicide? Where's the gun? The gun would have fell near where, I believe, if he would have shot himself, it would have been with all his belongings. Where's the gun? The bag is still there, and the wet bag's still there, and a duotank's still there, or notebook, or whatever they call it, but no gun? Are you going to go and hide your belongings somewhere else and go somewhere else to shoot yourself? No, I think if this was him, he would have shot himself with his belongings around him. Where's the gun? And when he went into that reserve, it wasn't flooded. So if this was his backpack and everything, once it flooded, that would have drifted away. Wouldn't all still be together with the wet bag and a notebook? And that notebook would have been insalvageable to be sitting underwater that long. It's not like it just got dropped in water and pulled out real quick and you can still salvage it, dry it out, and read it. Come on. Like, things are not adding up here, you guys. Somebody's got some splaining to do. Thank you, my dear. Good morning, Rosie. Thank you, Lady of Angels. Good question. How do they even prove that that's his skull? Teeth come back inconclusive. They haven't gotten any DNA from the bones that they received. And this is the forensic anthropologist that would have been one of the ones that could have got DNA. Where's the DNA? Where's the proof that this is Brian? That's what I want to know. Because so far right now, there is nothing proving that this is him. And lots of questions and doubt that it isn't. And then throw in his parents going directly to, well, his dad going directly to that site where the backpack and everything was found is beyond me. Mandy, we've gone over that there's no reason for them to hide that fact if they had it. None. Because if they're going to say Brian Laundrie's dead, then there's no charges coming anywhere towards it. It would have been released to the public. There is no gun. And how can they say it's a suicide with only partial skull and everything else? How do they know which way that bullet came from? How can they say it's suicide and that it's Brian if they don't have no DNA proving that that skull is even Brian's? Yeah, and even I agree. Even the way that when they found this stuff belonging to Brian, somebody was video recording that. My God, if this would have been my kid, I would have been on the ground crying. I would have been broken up. I don't see any mother that if you just found my son's remains and everything, that I'm not on the ground crying. Just their body language in, oh yeah, well, look, what else can we find in there? Did he leave us maybe a birthday gift or a Christmas gift for the, like, it was so nonchalant. Void of any emotion. Void of any emotion. Why? Do they know it's not Brian? Drove that car home because they knew that he was finally off, safely hidden or something. I don't know. At this point, my mind is just going in a million directions. But for those parents to be void of any emotion at all, finding what they found, said a lot. Mandy, no. I think the parents have helped cover it up and hide them. Everything is so fishy. If they want me to believe, and this is just me personally, if they want me to believe that this is Brian, show me. Prove it, it's Brian. When you go to court, the DA has to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that something occurred and that that something is this. They have the responsibility to prove that it's Brian, prove that's what happened, prove. There's been no proof. How can they say Brian Laundrie died of suicide from a self-inflicted gunshot with just a partial skull that has not been linked by DNA to Brian as being Brian's, no murder weapon that would have been around where the rest of his stuff was found? Nothing. They got nothing. I need proof. It's up to the DA to prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt. You guys should all be concerned that, is this proven beyond a reasonable doubt that these are Brian Laundrie's remains? I'm not convinced. Yes, they were void of any emotion. They were looking in that bag and everything with the cop after his dad found the stuff. Like it's like, oh yeah, is his homework in there? Did he bring his pencils? Like, just void of any emotion. There's no way. No. And I'm not convinced that he's dead. And I don't know how they've ruled it to be Brian without any evidence to back it. I don't know where the evidence is. And if I was a juror, this would be thrown out. I don't see any evidence that proves this is Brian Laundrie. There's no DNA. There's no gun that should have been found around his remains. the way things went down, okay, there's none of his ripped up clothes from getting eaten by animals and all this crap. The teeth came back inconclusive. The parents go right there directly and find all these remains that should, not the gun, but because the gun is not going to float, it's going to sink. That's why people throw the gun in the water. I've said it before. But they find a book bag in that would have floated away once the waters rose, and a notebook that they were saying could be salvageable. Why? Because there's a fake note in there. I'm going to kill myself, and this is why. Come on. No, show me the proof. Because if I was on the jury asking to decide if this is Brian Laundrie, it would be an absolute no, thrown out. Nope, not enough evidence to prove that this is Brian Laundrie. This is how it happened. No. Yes, thank you for everybody. Yes. And if this was rock solid, those charges would be stayed. They'd be done, gone, dismissed. They're not going to keep something on their books that they have on a dead man, right? Think about it. You got to put all the little pieces together. Lori says, you don't know their emotions. Okay, Lori, do you have children? What would you do? Would you just be standing there like looking in the bag to see, make sure that, you know, there's no snacks or nothing in there, all nonchalantly, if you just came across something that is saying that your son is dead? Would you be showing void emotion? Nothing adds up. Nothing. Yeah, it's like they were bringing something to the police that they found, and look at, is that real money? Is that, you know, like they were void of any emotion whatsoever. And I don't know, I have 4 children, and I'm telling you right now, I would be beside myself in tears to find out that my child was even in an accident, but is going to be okay. I would be broken down. I would be, you know, but for them to say, oh, your son's dead, and look at what we found of his stuff, to have no emotion looking through it as if it's, you know, something they just found out there and looking to see if there's anything valuable in there. One may be strong, but I'm still saying, if you thought for 1 minute that you just found possessions of your dead child, there's no way that there wouldn't be any kind of emotion. Yeah, like, see, look what we found. Anything in there good? It's like void of emotion. Hello, Melinda, my sister from a different mister. Love you. Thanks for popping in. And I have been able to get through some of the emails, Melinda. So it's like, money talks. Money talks. Sure does. Exactly. Thank you, Melinda. Not for 1 minute. I know you just came in, so and my theory has changed. I thought possibly, yes, he was dead. I thought for sure we were going to, once this forensic anthropologist came back, he was going to have DNA for us, that there was going to be a lot more released. But look at, to me, and retired Sergeant Melinda, please put me in my spot if you think that this is far-fetched. When you commit suicide, that gun is going to be found beside you. People are saying, okay, well, it filled with water afterwards. It flooded. A gun is not going to float away. That backpack should have floated away, but not the gun. That's why people throw guns, to get rid of them in water. They sink. No gun was found. So if this was suicide, a gun should have been found. There was no gun. The anthropologist should have found DNA to prove that this was Brian Laundrie's remains. 3, how do you say that this is suicide without having the full skull and everything else? How do you know it's suicide if you just have partial skull and jaw and no weapon? How do you know it's suicide? I think it's all a bunch of bull. What do you think? Exactly. And I've also got that apparently his uncle or something was a dentist. Sergeant Melinda. Don't some doctors, especially bone doctors and that, have skulls and stuff that is donated to them that are cleaned out of any kind of DNA and stuff like that so they can use it to either teach or stuff like that? Am I going down a wrong trail here? Could that have been what was used to be planted? What do you think, Melinda? Too risky to leave the gun there due to investigation of that gun. If you commit suicide, the gun would have been there. And there is no reason at this point, because if he is dead, there's not going to be any court case. There's no reason for them to withhold that evidence if they have a gun. I don't believe they have a gun. If you don't have a gun, then you don't have a suicide. If you don't have DNA, then you don't have an identity of a person. Just my opinion. There you go. Okay, Brenda's saying his uncle wasn't a dentist. That's right. If I was sitting on a jury, this has not been proven beyond reasonable doubt that this is even Brian. And like, how are they coming to the conclusion he died of a suicide, gunshot wound to the head, if you can't even prove that that skull is Brian's? If you can't prove whose skull that is, how can you say it's his? You can't. How can you prove suicide with only partial skeletal remains, unless they had the full skull? And how do you even then prove it? Right? That it's suicide and not somebody else coming up to somebody and shooting them in the head while they're laying on the ground sleeping, while they're sitting up in a tree. How do you know that? How is that gun not there if he committed suicide, but a book bag that would have floated away in water is there? There's just too many inconsistencies. What do you think about all the inconsistencies I just spoke about, Melinda? Okay, so his uncle is a dentist. Sergeant Melinda pulled him up. He is a dentist. There you go. I think his uncle worked selling boats. So, I mean, there's been so much, but if Melinda has a lot more abilities to be able to pull up people's information than we do, so I'm going to have to side with Melinda here and say if she's pulled it up and his uncle's a dentist, then his uncle's a dentist. If they say they got gunshot residue on remains but no DNA, my head will go. The gunshot residue would be on the skin, not on bone. And there's been enough people out there with medical detectors and everything else that if there was a gun out there, somebody would have found it. And gunshot residue would be found on the clothing or the skin, shoes, stuff like that. Not on bone. Yeah, I do know. I have heard about that cadaver farm area in Florida. I've heard about it. Not somewhere I'd want to visit, but yeah. I also heard that it was verified that the uncle was there again. Others have and no one's the family yet. Hollywood, there would be no gunshot residue on the skull. Like the way that if this was underwater, the gunshot residue would have been on the tissue outside of the skull. When you see I don't know, on true crime stories and stuff like that, when you see them talking about gunshot residue, that's around the wound itself. But they are saying there was no skin. So you would not get gunshot residue on skin that is no longer there. Okay, I'll be a monkey's uncle's tenant. A cadaver farm is where it could be animals, but there's also people that donate their bodies to science that they could use on these cadaver farms. And it's all for training in teaching people what to look for with decomp, and for animal searching. It's more training for future doctors and future investigative tools, things. There you go. Should have my daddy on and ask him. He's a retired homicide detective, worked and interviewed Ted Bundy and many known, unknown serial killers, worked side by side with the FBI. Email me, Melinda. Let's get that up. Let's get daddy on. Retired homicide detective. Let's get Melinda's daddy on here. And let's ask him. We got to set that up. Maybe we can set that up for another live. Melinda, talk to your daddy, see what he thinks, and then get back to me. Yes, gunshot residue. Gunshot residue is typically found on whoever's holding the gun. Close range. If you're close range to shooting somebody, it could be found on their skin. Okay, and there's certain little indents that it makes, almost like when you burn yourself. There's certain marks that it makes and indents that would be on the flesh. If the gun was close to the head or any other part of the body, it could be found on the victim's body, but there was no flesh there to find gunshot residue on this apparent body. GSR, gunshot residue. I'm going to say, because tongue twisting. Gunshot residue could be found on the person holding the gun, on their hands, on their clothes, on their shoes, areas around where that gun fired. The gunshot residue could spew and be embedded or on stuff around where that gun was fired from. So within a certain amount of area around the gun, the actual gun. If it's close to the head when it's shot, yes, the person being shot would have some gun shoe GSR on their wound. Also the person holding the gun, whoever's hand that gun was in. The gator ate the gun. No, gator isn't going to eat a gun. Where's the bullet? Where's the casing? Where's the gun? Hello, Miriam. Hello, Debs. Yes, so I just said it would be found any area within a certain amount around that gun. Your clothes, your shoes. If you're laying on the ground and you shoot somebody, it would be on the floor, on the carpet. If you were leaning up against the wall and shot somebody, it would go on that wall. There's a certain area that here we go, gunshot residue flies to from the barrel of the gun when a gun is shot. I'm with you, Al. Tony. Tony. Are you on the Mickey Mouse channel? You heard the results are in and he was found with rattlesnake's venom in his neck? How? There's no neck. It's bone. His shoulder? Really? No shoulder bones that I heard found. His abdomen and his crotch? Really? I don't hear about that being found. So I don't know where you're getting enough to kill an elephant. I don't know where you're getting your information from, but you're totally wrong. So let's keep that crap right off my channel. Because that, I believe, would come from a Mickey Mouse show or something. I'm doing a face palm right now to the front of my head. Hello, Rainy Joe. Karen Cox, hello. Yeah. Where'd you go? Yeah, I'm doing that right about now. Okay. Tony, please go back to Mickey Mouse. Because I don't know where you're getting your information from, but... Okay, Melinda says, my stepmom is also an attorney with medical license. My cousin is Florida prosecutor, along with my brothers and many family members in Florida in law and above. There you go. She's not just talking off the cuff, you guys. She knows her stuff. Okay, Melinda, here's the latest. You want to see the latest? Pay attention. Here we go. We'll give Tony another 2 minutes of fame here. There we go. I think he was on a Mickey Mouse channel or something. What do you think of what Tony just posted there, Melinda?
I love you. You love me. We're a happy family.
I don't know where you're getting your information, Tony, but please don't bring that here. Yay! Thank you, Tony. Thank you. Thank you, Tony. Thank you. I hope that was a joke. But if he's serious, he's got to go back to the Mickey Mouse channel he was on where he heard that, because, Tony, redeem yourself. Please tell me you were joking. There you go, Drea. Oh, Cindy. Cindy, you need to answer the last email I just sent you. Because if I don't get that done today, I will forget. I've said the same thing. Where's the gun? Never mind the bullet and bullet casings. Where's the gun? Where's the gun? Where's the gun? Where's the gun? Apparently, Dolly, there's been partial remains, partial skull, partial jaw. I don't know what else. Partial. Yes, Miriam. You're going to have to go back and listen because I don't believe anything that's come out. They're saying that Brian Laundrie committed suicide with a bullet to the head, but there's nothing, absolutely zero evidence to back that up. Zero. No DNA, no gun that should have been there, no nothing. No, nothing to back it up. To me, it's just caused more doubt than anything else and more questions. Oh, Bruce, I go looking for my glasses all the time because I can't read worth shit without them, and just to find them on my head. Yes, the new video is out. Please share this out. Even if you don't want to watch the whole thing, you guys, all I'm asking is please share it out. This family is begging to get his name out there. So even if you don't want to watch it, please just go to the video. There's a share button there. Get the link to the video and just share it out where you can. Please. The family's begging for our help to get Daniel's name and story out there. Oh, yeah. It's like, okay, who took my... Okay, never mind. There it is. Like, it's bad. It's bad. My memory is gone to the shit in the last couple years since I turned 50. So I'll be 58 in, what are we today? The 23rd. In a week. I'll turn 58. And I'm telling you, for the last 8 years, from the time I turned 50, it's been downhill from there. Yeah, there was a weapon that was found at the park. That park. What was that park? The park where they had gone camping when Brian had returned home. That's where there was a gun found, nowhere near Brian's body. Probably 100 miles away. But there was a gun that was found, I guess, near this park, in the water near this park that they had gone to. At that time, Brian was still very much alive, so I do not think that that's part of it at all. I don't think it's connected. And if it is, then the parents went and threw it there. Yeah. Like, neither was the father, in my opinion. She had pedal pushers and tennis shoes. She wasn't planning on staying long. Those bugs and snakes and out there don't mess around. So to want to be going through bush and everything else without something to protect your feet and legs from a snake bite or something, because I'm telling you guys, those snakes don't mess around. They're serious. When they want to bite you, they're serious. They're getting you. So yeah, to go out there the way, yeah, they were going out there. They were on a mission. DeSoto, there it is. Thank you, Tease and Cat. DeSoto. Yeah. There's no way. There's no way that gun was used. And without even having that gun from DeSoto, even having that gun, unless they've got a registration number to say that this belongs to somebody, even having that gun, if they've got no shell casing or bullet from the skull to compare that gun to, they can't prove that that gun was used to even shoot him. So even if it's registered to Brian, they can't prove that that gun was used to shoot whoever this skull belongs to, because there's no shell casing or bullet either that they have said they found, let alone the gun. And the gun, if he committed suicide, would have been right there beside him, not hundreds of miles away at DeSoto Park. So, I mean, it's just given us more reason to believe that Brian's not dead, as far as I'm concerned. Put yourself on a jury. And this is the evidence you have to go by. You've got no DNA to say that that skull is even Brian's, but they're going to say that it's Brian and he died of a suicide, which they can't prove that it was even a suicide. but there's a gunshot to the head. You can't prove how that gunshot got there. You can't. And you've got no gun. And you can't even prove that that's Brian. So how do you say that this has come to a conclusion that it's Brian? He died of a gunshot wound by suicide to the head. There's no evidence to prove it. DA, prosecution has to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. So let's put those to the test. Can this, what they have, prove beyond a reasonable doubt that that is Brian's skull, that he committed suicide? And no, there's no, this would be thrown out in an instant. Right. People have gone there with metal detectors, everything. The gun would not float away. Why didn't the backpack float away? The backpack would have floated away when the rains and it flooded. But the backpack and a wet bag was there and a notebook, but not a gun. Come on. Come on. There you go. Doug said 3 went in and only 2 left. Interesting, eh? Very interesting. Cat H says 60's a treat. Oh, God, I got. Well, I turn 58 next week. I got 2 more years before I'm going to see what you're talking about. Bruce Davis, 42. You got a ways to go, my friend. You got 8 more years. Yeah. I don't have TikTok. I don't have TikTok. Everybody came out with it. Thank you, Lobo. DeSoto Park. It's all been strange, yes. It's all very strange. Dental records came back inconclusive. But yeah, how do they know? How do they know? They haven't shown enough evidence to show that that is even Brian. They've got no DNA. Nothing. Nothing. And the dental records were inconclusive. And apparently the uncle is a dentist, so things could have been messed with there. Right? Yep. Okay, also, the weapon found was determined not to be connected to a crime locally nor in system database as stolen. They know something. But still, even so, even if they had that gun, there's no way to prove that gun killed whoever's skull that is, because they've got no bullet fragments or anything that they could use to test against that weapon. Don't forget, you guys, that water would have been cold. So I believe that there would have been, in whatever bones they found, I believe that the coldness of the water would have helped preserve any DNA that was in those remains. Thank you, Hollywood. There you go. People in the area all say it's an old Indian burial grounds and bones appear every time it floods. Is that why they can't get DNA? Very possible, Rainy Joe. Very possible. Nothing has shown me yet that this is, if, like I said, put yourself on a jury with somebody's life on the line. Would you say that's Brian Laundrie? I can't. FBI is called in for them to tell the chief executive to stand down from the case search. Never happens unless some sort of evidence that NPPD is being investigated. There you go. That would make a lot of sense. Okay, for those of you who haven't seen it, it would make a lot of sense. So I don't know, you guys, but in my honest opinion, I don't think it's him, and I don't think that they have shown any proof that it is him. Okay, so you guys are talking about the gun that was found in by DeSoto. Still don't believe me either now. I was on the fence, but I don't believe it's him. Unless they can prove that it's him through DNA, I don't believe it's him. There's just too many variables that don't add up. So this is why the chief NPPD, etc., called a media conference, and to me, and nothing to brief on the case like FBI. In my opinion, they were and are trying to cover their butts and not look dumb. There you go. I'll mention this again, you guys. Till Friday at midnight, you can use the promo code Friday and get 15% off any merchandise from my store. And that is only until midnight Friday. Get your 15% off using promo code Friday. Those 2 dots should not be at the end of Friday, Cindy. Just so I don't want people putting in those 2 dots because your promo code will not work. Please take those 2 dots off there at the end of Friday. KC says, just finding a wet bag and some other belongings doesn't prove darn thing to me. I mean, we don't know what his mom had in her bag when she went in. Well, the thing is that the wet bag and the backpack and notebook, why wouldn't that have floated away? Right? Why wouldn't that have floated away? Those are things that could have floated away. A gun won't float away. A gun sinks. A gun will stay at the bottom. How is it that the backpack, the notebook, and the wet bag are found? You know what I mean? But the gun isn't found? And they've got no DNA to prove that that skull with this gunshot is Brian's. They've got no proof that that gunshot was a suicide. And they've got no gun to prove that there was even a gun there. That could be from many years ago. Somebody just said that there was there's an Indian burial site that every time it floods, bones come up. It could very well be from that. They have to be able to prove that this is Brian, and I don't see where the proof. Okay? Retired Sergeant Melinda, again, not him. I can get my friend who owns a gators farm in Florida and can tell us the behaviors of gators and with people in water. They will only eat rotten flesh. So maybe, Melinda, see what you can do about setting up, getting your dad on here and your friend, and we'll do a live with them. That would be awesome. Let me know via email if you can get that set up, and I'll make it happen. Smells fishy and has from the beginning. Absolutely. I believe that too. I do believe, Melinda, I have your phone number. Melinda, is it the number that I have for you? Is it a cell number? Because if it is, I can text. Or maybe I'll have to get myself one of those numbers. Google number or something like that. But if that's a cell number that I have for you, Melinda, then I could text you. We can text back and forth. Or I can get myself set up. My sister said she'd help me get set up with one of those Google numbers. So then I can call you. I'd have to give you the number ahead of time so you know it's me, though. There you go. Look at what we got, you guys. Where'd you go there? You can also ask Military Battle, who's Cajun Louisiana Swamps Gator Hunt. There you go. We got a lot that we can throw together. It's a cell? Okay. I can text message you. I'd rather talk to you in person. Like, I mean, I got ways that I can do that, but I'd rather just have me and you on the phone because you know why. But I'll set something up. I'm going to see if I can't get a Google number, Melinda, and then I will email you the Google number I have. Then we can call each other. More questions than answers, yes. But they're not answering the questions, Angela and Angelia. They're not. They're just putting more questions out because they can't prove that that is Brian Laundrie's skull. I got to put this on my list because you know me, I will forget. Cindy, I need you to email me. I emailed you and asked you. I need something from you. Check your email so I can get that done today so I don't forget. And I'm going to also write here. I'm not too tech savvy, so I got to set up a number that I can give. Yes, and everything that just came out just added to the questions. There you go, you guys. Now you got that song in my head, Melinda. Cherokee woman. Yes, God bless the Petito family. Okay, you replied? Good. So as soon as I'm done this live, I will get over there and get that done. Because you know me and my memory. Oh, look, a squirrel. You should see, you guys, I'm telling you, you should see my Christmas tree. I put it up, 5 days ago now? It took me 2 days to get it out of the box and get all the branches right. I got fed up with that. Then I went to try and put the lights on. I ended up putting it on backwards. My plug was at the top instead of the bottom. Took all the lights off, started putting them on again. Gave up on that. I was getting too frustrated. So I think 2 days ago, I finally got all the lights on. It is lit up. This morning when I got up, it looked bare. So I did put the angel on the top. So it is now on, but there's absolutely nothing else on it. Exactly. I had the same thoughts, Melinda, that skull The way that they were explaining what it looked like was not something that was just there. And like I said, that water was cold. That water would have helped preserve his DNA and that skull, and anything, any flesh or anything on it would have slowed down the decomp process. Coldness slows down decomposition. So it is what it is, and I don't think there's enough evidence pointing to the fact that that is him. If he's in hiding, unless he gets therapy, he's going to be repeating the same old patterns. I think he's going to live a pretty scared life. I think this is going to, if he's in hiding, I don't think he's going to attempt this again. What I do think is he's going to live like a hermit, always watching over his back. It's going to drive him insane. He's going to end up in a loony bin somewhere, okay? Because to live constantly watching over your shoulder, never knowing if today's the day you're going to be caught, that is enough to drive any sane person totally insane. He's going to end up in a mental hospital somewhere, is what's going to happen. I'm not disagreeing with that, Angelina, and I'm glad you brought that up, because you know what? Why didn't that notebook and backpack and dry bag float away? If it was there during the flood, that stuff would have floated away. Just adds more questions. Unless it was planted there. And I'm telling you, if there was a notebook underwater for that swampy water, that amount of time, there was no way that it would be salvageable. And as you all seen, I don't know if you've seen the pictures, but there was a hole in that dry bag. Yeah, and so that couldn't have been out there that long. Somebody planted that there. In my honest opinion, FBI knows from his journal in some CCTV video evidence. Tech came back. Brian Laundrie may be perhaps the only witness to something bigger, like eluded serial killer, the 4 who were found murdered in same area. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah. That notebook, if it had been there out there that whole time, would not be salvageable. I believe it was planted there. Okay, so I'm thinking we should maybe get this all wrapped up. It is what it is. We're going to see what Melinda can do with getting us some guests on our panel to go over what they can tell us about this and what they think. Yes, I agree 100%. There's no way that that notebook would have survived. And you could see that dry bag, it had a hole in it. So there's just too much being set up. Is there something bigger going on that we don't know about? Could be. But to me, and I'm going to end with this, you guys, to me, there is no way with what they have said that this proves, number one, that it's Brian Laundrie. The remains that they found doesn't prove it. Number two, I don't know how they can say that it's suicide without having so much more that they would need, including a gun, bullets, fragments, whatever. How can they tell it's suicide? Totally different than walking in on a murder scene. Is it suicide? Is it a murder? Totally different scenario going on here. Okay? For the amount of time and the way that those remains were found, I don't believe that they could tell if that was a suicide or a murder. I don't believe that they can tell that that was Brian, because there's no DNA that came back to prove it. So if you can't prove who that skull is, How can you prove anything else? There's no gun. If it was a suicide, there would have been a gun found nearby. There's just so much evidence pointing away from it being Brian Laundrie at this point than there is pointing towards him. Yeah. I remember that when it was a female and a male officer that went into that new camper and collected something. What was it? I don't know if it was DNA or something, but I know they had gone to that house too to get more DNA of Brian's for the tracking dogs, because DNA samples, the scent only lasts for so long. So I think they needed a fresh sample. Yes. So with that, we're going to leave it there. Melinda, see what you can do about getting those guests for the same time to be able to come up on panel. See if you can get that done. It would be great if you can. Okay, so he's in Mexico. Has been on TikTok. I have the account and following it. FBI knows. Could very well be. Okay, so we're going to wrap this up, you guys. I do have some stuff to get to. It's going on 20 to 4, 25 to 4 now. Thank you for everybody joining in and giving me your thoughts on what you think. Lots of diversity here. Some people think it is him. Some people think it's not. Some people think that there's enough evidence to prove it's him. I don't think there is. We all have different opinions, and every opinion matters. I'm not going to say anybody's right, anybody's wrong. I'm just going to give everybody, their opinion, and they're entitled to that. And I'm not going to knock you for what you believe. I happen to believe a certain way, and others happen to believe a different way, and that's okay. It makes for good debates and good conversation and good solving skills. Melinda, text me today so I can get info from you to help and call the cavalry. I'm going to try, it'll probably be tomorrow, Melinda. I'm going to try and get this number thing set up so we can talk in person. Like texting, I hate it. I try to do it on my phone and I mess up. But texting also is going to be a good thing. But I'm going to try and get that number set up. And what I'll do is I'll email you to tell you the number so you know it's me. Yeah, we can agree to disagree and still all be friendly. People aren't always going to agree with me. I'm not always going to agree with everybody. But you know what? It's what makes the team work, makes the dream work, right? Oh, thank you, Mary. We love you. Go easy on yourself. You have a lot on your plate. Yes, I do have a lot on my plate, and I've got a lot to get set up here in my private life and personal life with things that are going on within my family unit. So please forgive me. And I've got a lot in my head. Sometimes I forget. That's why I got to write everything down, because I just got too much going on. So thank you for that, Mary. I appreciate you. Yeah, I can't use my, I can text you from my personal number, Melinda, but I can't call you because I don't have the US calling. So if I can get a Google number or something like that, I can also talk to you like talking instead of, I asked my sister, man, I'm bad. I mess things up in text, and the little keyboard on my phone is so small, and it goes a lot faster being able to be on a phone with you and talking, or even over Melinda. Here's another thing that we can do. If you're on my Facebook, Above and Beyond Ancestor Facebook, I can FaceTime you. Da-da-da. So there's a bunch of different ways that we can get in touch with each other. But I want to get that phone number too. So if I got something, I can call you, leave a message, and stuff like that too. And no, your number is not even saved in my phone under your name. I know who it is, but anybody that would find my phone would have no idea. You're very welcome, T. Thank you for being here. Yes, please send out some prayers. I'm so sorry to hear about that, Melinda. My condolences to you and the family. It's losing people that are close to you is rough, And I've got to get out also to my husband's grave and get the Christmas stuff put there. We've been getting snow, and it's been reminding me on my phone for the last 3 days, get out there. You got to do this before the snow flies. Even though it gets buried under probably 6 feet of snow, I know it's there. I got to get out to the grave, and it's too late now. It's like it's going to be dark probably within the next half hour. So I got to get that done first thing tomorrow morning. I pushed that off again for the 4th day in a row. It's rough. It's rough and it's tough, and it's just a lot of things on my plate right now. I have international call you. Either way works. Okay. I'm going to email you. I want to get that number set up tomorrow and get a text out to you from my personal number. Actually, hang on. I can't deal with anything today, Melinda, but while you're still here, don't go anywhere because I'm going to text you right now. Okay, text. Okay, I just sent you a text, Melinda. Tell me what that text says so I know it's you. I just sent you a text. Don't you go anywhere yet. Tell me that you got it. What's the text say? Stand by. 10-4. Good buddy. That was so droll. Stand by. 10-4, buddy. Yes, I wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. I just sent Melinda a text. I want to make sure that she's got it. Yes, and Melinda is also saying, yourself healthy, enjoy your turkey day, gobble gobble. Bye, Rosie. Take care, hon. Love you to the moon and back. That's what I just texted her. Hello, sister from another mister. Okay, so she got me text. Okay. Thank you all. Yes, thank you all for being here. I appreciate you. Love you to the moon and back. I thought that was cute. You knew it would be from me seeing that. So there you go. You've got my number. I can't call you because I don't have that international calling. But more than welcome to shoot me a text. Let's get this set up. Let's see if we can't get a live set up. Stay in touch. Love you, Willow. Love you too, Rosie. Love you all. Cindy, love you to the moon and back. I've got to, yes, Rosie. I gotta go and check that message from Cindy because I got something I gotta send her, but I needed something from her first. So yeah. So I'm gonna get off here, you guys. Get going on what I gotta get going on. Love you guys to the moon and back. Please take care of yourselves. Stay safe. Have a great gobble gobble day. Have fun with your friends and family. Stay safe. Stay safe. Yes, and we have a beautiful family here. I love it. I love every one of my subscribers. Love you guys. So with that, I'm going to let you guys go. Please take care. Stay safe. Have a good turkey day. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. And I love you to the moon and back. Until the next time, bye-bye for now.